Coach, headed into the final regular season of the game, if you can just touch on last week, the loss at Ball State, and then looking ahead to senior night with Northern Illinois.
Yeah, obviously it was a frustrating game. You know, I thought we played hard, came back and pushed it to overtime, and I was happy with the fight of our guys. You know, we didn't make enough plays to win the game. So obviously it was a frustrating game. Offensively, I was happy with what we did, you know, holding the ball and running it the way we did, and then defensively we couldn't stop them, you know, and that hurt. So you got to have, everyone's got to show up, you know, and it didn't happen for us, I was proud of the way we fought all the way to the end, so we moved forward, you know, and we got a great opponent this week, and you know, we're going to play the MAC West champions this year, you know, and they got to come to us. It's senior day. Our seniors, we only got 9 of them, so it'll be a shorter ceremony before the game, but this group's meant so much to me and us in a transition, and I mean they're an unbelievable group, and so we've been talking about it for 2 weeks now, you know, and I gave them each a hug on the practice field today, and be an emotional day, you know, that they're playing their last game at Waldo, you know, and so we're gonna miss those guys for keeping us together through this, you know, and they'll always be remembered.
A week of change for you, obviously. What have you seen from your defense since the change? Yeah,
but we're still talking about a bunch of 18 to 22-year-old kids, so they're a little bit shock and awe early. You know, getting back out on the football field helps, and they've had a great week. I mean, they've had tons of energy, and Coach Espo's done a great job of getting them to play and have energy and play the game the way it's supposed to be played. You know, we've had good weeks of practice before, but this week was a little bit different, you know, and so, you know, I've been happy with their resolve. You know, once we're creatures of habit, so once we get back on the field, you know, the kids settle back in nicely, and you know, they're excited to play for the seniors.
Is this, you know, it's going to obviously be talked about a lot between now and then. Is this a tryout for Coach Esposito to take that job full time next year?
I don't think. Well, yeah, I guess every time you're in charge of something and you put a product out there, you're judged by it. I've been the offensive coordinator at a lot of places, and I'm calling the plays here, and so I know that anytime I have the opportunity, you know, I was an interim offensive coordinator at Syracuse for half a season, and you know, didn't think I was gonna ever get the job. You know, we did do well enough, and I was lucky enough to get that opportunity for the next year. You know, but I just think every time, and it's the same for position coaches. You know, every time your guys go out there and make plays or don't make plays, it's you know, it's a chance. You know, for you know, whether you're staying or going, to be honest with you. So yeah, that definitely is a possibility, but you know, and an opportunity. It's hard to do in 4 or 5 days, you know. But you know, we're all judged every game on how your guys play.
Tim, watching Northern Illinois Miami game, obviously Miami did some things to shut down Northern's offense, and then you know, scored enough points to win. Is there something you took away from that game that you think you can use tomorrow night against the Huskies? I mean,
I thought Miami's offense came in as hot as offense could be, and kicked 2 field goals. Like that's what they did. You know, their defense had a pick 6. I mean, technically their defense won the game on their own. They scored 7 and gave up 2 field goals to win 13-7. So really impressed with what Miami's defense did, you know, and we knew that. I knew that going in. You know, we were number 1 or 2 rushing team in our league, and we struggled running the ball on. We tried, and we ended up having to throw for 400 to win that game. And so going into that game, I knew that was a good matchup for Miami, their run defense versus Northern's run offense, you know. But it comes down to can you score? Yeah, and no one has, really. You know, I thought Akron did a pretty good job. But, you know, Ohio really didn't, and Toledo really didn't, and, you know, so that's the challenge, you know, when you're talking about the number 1 defense in the league by far, in my opinion. So it's going to be a huge challenge for us, you know, and I think think we've been really efficient on offense. We've been pretty good on offense, but this is going to be our greatest challenge other than Michigan. You know, this will be a great challenge for our guys. Great challenge for the young quarterback because this defense is stout. You know, it's kept them in there. You don't win games 7-6 too often nowadays, and they beat BYU 7-6. So I know our offense is fired up about the challenge. I know our defense is excited. You know, but we obviously got to hold them low like Miami did, and it should be a dogfight. You know.
Yeah, for years I've been listening to his keys to the game. Let's flip the coin. What are your keys to the game? How you think you're going to take them down?
You know, if I had to pick one for each unit, you know, offensively, I think we have to create explosive plays. You know, where you have to. It's such a suffocating defense that you're going to have to find a way to get some chunk plays. Doesn't mean they're going to be touchdowns, but you have to find some air in the defense. And that's hard to do. But the teams that have scored some points have found ways to do that. So that's one thing we got to do. Defense, we got to stop the run. I mean, they run the ball. Everyone knows it. Can you stop it? And some teams have, some teams haven't. You know, so that's going to be a battle in there. And I think on special teams, they're not necessarily ranked really high on all special teams. They're not bad in anything, but in close games they seem to make a play. You know, when you get in a really close game. So we got to make sure we don't let them have that big special teams play and just play solid on special teams. You know, if I had to pick one for each unit, I think that's the formula. You know, for beating a team that's going to play in the championship game.
This is one of those games that, you know, we circle at the beginning of the year. It's Western and Northern. It's always a big game. What is it to you?
Well, I'm from Chicago. I mean, I'm from there. I'm from 40 minutes down the road, and they're a team that I have more respect for than anyone in our league. I like the way they play. I think they play the game the right way. They play hard. It's a program that's been to the MAC West or the MAC championship game more than any other program, and you know, that's the kind of program you want to build, you know, and so it's something that I have tons of respect for. I thought we played them hard last year. It was a hard-fought game, you know, and that, you know, if you want to ever be the team that's been to, I don't even know what the number is in the last 10, 20 years, they've probably been to 75% of the championship games. You know, you got to play in these games, and you got to win these games. This is what they do, you know. So it's a great challenge, a great opportunity for us, and to get a big win late in the season.
You touched on it at the beginning, just more on the seniors. What's it like for them having done that, walking out of that tunnel for the final time?
I've done it. It's emotional, you know. My last year it was a Marshall game actually, and it was a great atmosphere, and you just guys like, you know, like Odell and Bogan and Kenoy, and there's just tons of them. Doyle, I mean, they've meant so much to this program. They meant so much to the transition. But for them individually to walk out of that tunnel for the last time, there's no way you can prepare for it. You know, the emotions of this is going to be, you know, my last time coming out of this tunnel on game day. I love being there, you know, at that moment, at the end of the tunnel to greet them when they step on the field, and just thank them, you know, for everything that they've done. And you know, I know the team feels, you know, very strongly towards our seniors' leadership. It's not a big class, but the leadership is really strong, and I think you'll get a good response from our players because of how much they care for these guys.
Odell, this chance tomorrow to take on Northern Illinois, and it'll be the last time for you and the rest of the senior class to step foot on Waldo. So just kind of talk about getting ready for this week and maybe some of the emotions leading up to senior night.
This week, myself and the rest of the seniors and the rest of the team, we've been working really hard this week to hope the seniors leave with a win. I'm very excited about tomorrow, and the rest of the seniors are too. And we're just excited to turn over a new leaf for Western Michigan and begin to start this win streak.
Have you thought about what that final walk through the tunnel will be like?
A little bit. I want to go out there. I'm just going to look around and take it all in, and then just give everything I have for my last game for the guys that come after me.
Odell, you kind of had an interesting career from coming from Gull Lake High School, local product, walking on, started on, believe on off or defense
Yes, sir.
at outside linebacker,
Defensive end.
defensive end.
Yep.
Then move to the offensive side of the ball, and then kind of find your spot at the tight end. And obviously, kind of neat with Donnie Ernsberger last year being a Battle Creek Lakeview, just down the road from you. So kind of a neat career at the tight end position, more of a blocking back, but you know, playing with Donnie was kind of a nice thing for you in your career.
Yes, sir. So Donnie and I actually knew each other in high school. Our dads worked together. So when we both were like talking to Western, it was exciting, and we communicated back and forth. Then we came in at the same position, and then they moved Donnie to defense, and then they moved me to defense, and I went back to defense, and then I went back to offense, and here I am today. And that's a thanks to Coach Kenny, because he saw both of us at defensive end and was like, I see something in those guys, so I'm going to go get them. And he came and got us, and now we're where we are today.
What will the Northern Illinois game be like? You've played in it obviously before. What is this atmosphere going to be like on Tuesday night?
It's going to be exciting. Northern Illinois, like you said, has always been our last game since I've been here. And it's always been exciting, and it's always been a great matchup. So I'm excited to compete against the #1 defense in the conference and see what our offense is really about.
What do you see from their defense that's made them so statistically good?
They're really good in the run. So they have good defensive ends, good D linemen. They have good backers.
You obviously you're not on the defense. You practice against them. It's been a week full of change for them. How have they handled it from your vantage point?
Yes, sir. They've been working hard. They look at it and they've been working really hard this week. As you said, I'm not down there with them a lot, but I do hear and I see them, and they've been working really hard this week.
Odell, if you talk about your academic side of things at Western Michigan, you're going to graduate in the spring, and kind of talk about your future plans. Obviously, all the guys want to maybe take a shot at the NFL, maybe at a tackle position, playing in the NFL with your size and stuff like that. Just talk about kind of your career going forward at Western Michigan and beyond.
So I plan to graduate December 15th, and I plan to graduate with honors, actually. I'm working on the thesis right now. And I plan to apply for grad school in physical therapy and get my doctorate, and that's my plan for the future.